Okay, so I welcome all of you. Right? So this is the first day of your third year semester first, and already there are some common instructions that I have given to you on through your WhatsApp group, and I hope you have gone through all the instructions and you will follow the instructions uh, very promptly. Okay, this is what the expectation from your way, so that we can have the better cooperation and better understanding throughout the semester. Right? Okay. Then let me share my screen. Okay. So here in this semester, I'm going to deal with the subject name of digital design and HDL. Okay. So before actually starting with the subject, I want to discuss the vision, mission of our institute, then vision, mission of our department, right? Then PEOs, PSOs. Okay. So what is our department vision? To be recognized for excellence in education in synergy with research in the field of electronics and telecommunication engineering. This is the broad vision. And what is the mission of our department? To impart value-added technical education by nurturing the culture of collaborative research, innovation, and teamwork by imbibing mutual respect and human values. Then there are some program specific outcomes, that is PSO. That means what you will get after completion of your BTech degree, right? So you must able to develop, design and demonstrate different experiments in the case of or in the areas of analog, digital design, communication system and allied branches. Then you should able to apply knowledge of electronics and telecommunication engineering to meet the desired needs within realistic constraints such as economics, environmental, social, and ethical. Then use the techniques, skills, and modern engineering tools necessary for the electronics and telecommunication engineering. These are the program specific outcomes. Okay. Now next, you should know what are the faculties that will teach you different subjects. So you know Dr. Mrs. M. Power Madam, she is the professor and head of our department. Then Dr. V.G. Kale sir, he is the associate professor and assistant HOD of our department. Then you have a subject digital signal processing that that will be taught you by the Dr. M.S. Matpati sir. Then you have a subject microcontroller and applications that will be teach you by Mr. H.K. Bhaldar sir. He is assistant professor in our department. Then you have one elective subject business ethics, right? That will be teach you by Miss M.P. Kulkarni madam. He is also working as assistant professor in our department. Then you have another subject name as EMFT, electromagnetics transmission, right? Then this subject will be teach you, or this subject will be teach by Miss Sneha Kadam madam. She is also working as an assistant professor in our subject, and I am SM Karve, right? CC of your class. I will be dealing with the subject digital design and HDL. I am also working as an assistant professor in ENTC department. Okay, so you must at least know what are the faculties uh, that will be dealing with you through a different subject. Okay, then coming to the our subject digital design and HDL. So teaching and examination schemes we will discuss first. So you have 4 lectures per week, right? That contributes 4 credits. Then you have 2 hours of practical per week. with 1 credit. So now in this pandemic situation, practical will be of only 1 hour as we are conducting the online lectures, right? Then about examination scheme, you have to give the 70 mark university paper, final paper. Actually, if you want to face the online paper, then it will be a 50 marks MCQ paper. That 50 marks will be converted to the 70 marks in your result. Okay, end semester examination. जसं तुम्ही आता सेकंड इयरचं पण दिलं होतं, पेपर तुम्ही 50 मार्काचे दिले, पण रिझल्ट किती आला? 70 मार्क्स पैकी आला. याही वेळेला तसंच होईल, राईट? You have to give the online paper of 50 marks, 50 MCQ. That marks will be converted to the 70, and that can be displayed as your final result. ISC, you have 30 marks, right? जसं तुम्ही पेपर लिहून अपलोड केले त्याच पद्धतीने याही समजा तुमच्या ISC कॅरी आउट होतील. You will get the term work, and for this subject you will have practical oral examination of 50 marks, right? POE होणार आहे 50 मार्क, external examination, right? For this DDH subject, then I think MCA and DSP, right? For all 3 subjects you have a external examination of 50 marks. Okay, so this is what the teaching and examination scheme. Then about this digital design and HDL, right? So what is the course outline and course prerequisite? Okay, so course outline is what? This course will introduce how to design, simulate and test digital logic circuits, right, using hardware description languages, right? What are different hardware description languages, or what do you mean by HDL? That we are going to study in detail when we will start with the actual syllabus. Okay, then through this course you are also going to learn different CPLD, FPGA and ASIC architectures, right? And that can be used to implement the digital logic circuits. This is the what? A very generalized course outcome. म्हणजे ह्या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये तुम्ही काय काय शिकणार आहात त्याची एक रूपरेषा आहे. Then what is the prerequisite of this course? So you must have a knowledge of digital techniques subject. You must have a knowledge of combinational and sequential logic and its design, right? You must have a knowledge of different digital components also. जे तुमच्या सेकंड इयर DT सब्जेक्ट मध्ये जे तुम्ही शिकलेला आहात ते तुम्हाला माहित असणं गरजेचं आहे, right? Then next thing, what is the course objective? Okay, so to make student learn EDA tools for VHDL and Verilog programming and simulation, this is the first course objective. Then to enable student to design HDL modules for combinational logic design. म्हणजे ह्या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये तुम्हाला काय काय शिकता येईल, राईट? तर तुम्हाला HDL मॉड्यूल्स, डिफरंट कॉम्बिनेशनल लॉजिक सर्किट डिझाईन करावे लागतील, डिफरंट HDL लँग्वेजेस तुम्ही शिकणार आहात, VHDL, then Verilog programming, right? Then you must able to design VHDL modules for sequential logic design also, right? तुम्हाला कॉम्बिनेशनल लॉजिक आणि सिक्वेन्शियल लॉजिक म्हणजे काय कदाचित माहित असेल, राईट? माहित नसेल तर थोडं आज घरी जाऊन एकदा परत डिजिटल डिझाईन हा सब्जेक्ट रिवाइज करा, सो दॅट यू विल गेट द what you can say base of this combinational and sequential logic, right? And that is prerequisite of this subject also, right? Then the student must able to know about the CPLD, right? FPGA architecture, ASIC, then SOC, system on chip, fault testing of the combinational and sequential circuit. You have to you are going to learn the different testing methods, right, related to this subject also. Now what is the course outcomes, right? What is the course outcomes? Then after learning this course or after completion of this course in this semester, right, what the things that you will uh, what you can say, come to know or that you will grasp after learning this course, then you must able to tell the different syntax of VHDL language. Then you must able to design, simulate, analyze combinational and sequential logic circuits using VHDL. Then you must able to design, simulate and analyze combinational circuits using Verilog programming. Then you must able to explain different testing methods for the combinational and sequential logic. And you should be in the position to write a test bench for a simple combinational circuit. And the fifth outcome that you will get after completion of this course is you must able to describe architecture and internal components of CPLD, FPGA, ASIC and SoC, and you should able to compare them, right? So these things that you must able to know after completion of this course. Okay. Then, what is the actual syllabus? Right. What is the actual syllabus? Then in section 1, unit number first is Introduction to EDA tool and VHDL programming. Right, this is the our first unit that we will start from the next lecture. Okay. Now, what are the different points that we are going to discuss in this unit? We are going to discuss about the VHDL, then what is design flow, then EDA tools, then library declaration, entity architecture, data types, operators, signal, variables, constants, attributes, concurrent code, sequential code, then delays, different delays, then architecture modeling, components, generate libraries, IEEE standards, logic packages, generic declaration, function, procedure, operator overloading, and assert statement. Right? So these are the different statements and the points that we are going to discuss in this VHDL programming and EDA tool. Okay. Unit number 2 is VHDL module for combinational and sequential logic design. Okay. Now, in this unit, we are going to discuss about the half adder, full adder, okay, then subtractor. I think most of the programs you might have completed, or you might have most of this design either maybe using K-map technique or some other technique you have done in your digital technique subject, if I'm not wrong, right? You have know what is half adder, full adder, then subtractor, you know what is multiplexer, demultiplexer, right? Most of the things you have already studied in the digital design subject. Now, in this subject, the same module we are going to implement using hardware description languages, Verilog and VHDL, right? Then third unit is a Verilog modules for combinational logic design, right? Then we have a different another HDL language, that is the Verilog. It is very similar with the C, right? The VHDL is a very different language, and Verilog, it is a language that is used for it is a hardware description language that is used to design a complex digital circuit, and it is very similar to your C language. You have learned C language very deeply and very thoroughly, right? So you will have a basic knowledge of C language, then it is very easy for you to go for the Verilog language also, because it is very, very similar with the C language. So in that particular, we are going to discuss about the structures of this Verilog module, different types of models, data types, operators, HDL, implementation of half adder, full adder, half adder, and some combinational logic circuits, right? See, VHDL, Verilog, ह्या पण एक languages आहेत, right? जसं की तुम्ही Python, Java, C language शिकलात, तसं ह्या VHDL आणि Verilog सुद्धा एक प्रकारच्या languages आहेत that we are using to design a complex digital circuit, right? These are the hardware description languages only, right? See, when you have started learning the C, what the first thing that you have learned? You have learned the data types in C. You have learned the history of C, who has developed the C. So similarly, in the same context, VHDL and Verilog is also one of the hardware description language, right? When you see any computer programming language, what you are going to learn in that? You're supposed to learn its data types, then it's the attributes, different loops, right? For loop वगैरे या language मध्ये सुद्धा आहे. Only you have to study its syntax, right? You have to study its syntax, right? C language मध्ये for loop वेगळ्या प्रकारे लिहिला जातो, फंक्शन येतं. तसं VHDL मध्ये सुद्धा for loop वेगळ्या प्रकारे लिहिला जातो, फंक्शन येतं. Verilog मध्ये सुद्धा for loop वेगळ्या प्रकारे लिहिला जातो, फंक्शन येतं. Syntax वेगवेगळे आहेत. Rest of the things are function is similar, right? त्यामुळे don't get confused after hearing this name. What is this DDH model? What is Verilog? No, these are also programming languages. Right? फक्त ह्या कशासाठी वापरतात? To design complex digital circuits. VHDL or Verilog. These are also programming languages that are used to design a complex digital circuits. Right? Now this is all about the section 1. Then in section 2, you have a fourth unit as a state machines. Right? You might have heard about the Murray and Milley machine. Right? You might have studied the state diagram representation, sequence detector. Right? These things you might have learned. Again, we are going to revise, and also we are going to design digital model in the VHDL or Verilog, right? Then you have the unit of testing of logic circuits, right? Up till now we have studied about different logic circuits, different languages, right? How to design a digital circuit using that languages. But now next thing is how to test that logic circuit, whatever you have designed using that digital hardware description language, maybe VHDL or Verilog, कशाची करा तुम्ही, पण जे केलेलं आहे ते बरोबर आहे का नाही हे टेस्ट पण करणार का नाही. So all that testing method that we are going to discuss in the unit number 6, that is testing of logic circuit. And you have a last unit, that is unit number 6. It is architecture of commercial devices, right? In that unit, we are going to discuss about different CPLD, different FPGAs that are available in the market, right? Its architecture, its organization, right? Then what do you mean by ASIC, application specific integrated circuit? What do you mean by system on chip? Then architecture of ASIC, architecture of system on chip, right? So all these things that we are going to discuss in the entire syllabus of this subject, digital design and HDL. HDL stands for hardware description language, right? Next thing, these are the textbooks and reference books. Okay, so maybe in next week I will share you the study material sheet with all of you, so you can find all these textbooks within that study material sheet. Okay, so you can download it and you can go through it. Okay, so these are the textbook and references that is given for this subject. Now these are the practicals, right? Hands-on practicals related to the VHDL and Verilog programming that we are going to perform it on using Xilinx ISC simulator. That is kind of one software, right, which is used to perform the VHDL or Verilog programming. Right? Similarly, you have a Turbo C software, or in your mobile that C compiler app which executes the C program. Similarly, we have a Xilinx software which executes the VHDL or Verilog program, right? So these are the list of experiments that we are going to perform, right, in this semester related to this subject. And finally, you have what I want to say, one website I will tell to you, pdfdrive.com. Okay, you can note it down somewhere. pdfdrive.com. It is the best website. In that website, you can download all these textbooks as well as reference book. Okay, you have to copy the name of book, you have to press there in a search, and you will get the download options for that particular PDF. So you can use that pdfdrive.com. You go to that website, you can also able to download any one of these books or even all books, no problem. Okay, so this is what the very uh, brief introduction about your faculty vision mission, right? PEOs, PSOs, then uh, our course objectives, course outcomes, then syllabus, experiments, and textbooks. Okay, so this is all about the today's introductory lecture. From next lecture, we will start with the actual syllabus. Okay, we will start with the actual syllabus.